Hey guys, this is Varenz Trades here. Just want to go over a couple things. I want to go over how do you know if we're in a bull market, bear market, what. So I go to SPY or SPX and I go to the 10-year monthly chart. You can even go to the 20-year, whatever. But you just kind of see what that direction is. This is straight up. So we're in a bull market, obviously, and we're in a we're still like proceeding up right now. We're not on a correction, anything like that. This little hammer is kind of scaring me though. That's not good to see. That usually is a sign for a reversal, kind of like this one, and we saw that. But yeah, anyways, so that's kind of how you know what kind of market we're in. I mean, you got SPY, you got the Qs, right? And then I see you got these hammers, these dojis. That's usually a sign that a reversal is coming. So I mean, we could see a reversal. But yeah, and then I go on the daily to draw my trend line, okay? And you want, as many touches as you can, obviously. So, like I said before, on an uptrend, you want to draw the line on the bottom, and on a downtrend, you want the line on the top. And then, let's see if we can find a little... I know, let's see here. So CAT was trading sideways for a little bit. So when it's doing that, it's consolidating, and so you want to draw a channel, right? So a line on the top, line on the bottom, and then you want to wait. I usually trade, if it goes to the bottom of it, you can trade the reversals as long as you have that trend line set. So that works pretty well. So here, I traded it when it bounced, and it got that huge move up and finally broke out of it for a new high. So that was pretty cool. So Tesla's been, kind of nuts, obviously. It was in a uptrend. You had this big triangle. You had this big triangle right here. That gave it that huge move, I think it's kind of forming another triangle right here. It isn't an uptrend. See that? It isn't an uptrend. But anyways, yeah. So that's kind of tell you want to look at the bigger time frames to look at the overall stock to see where it's at. If it's going up, down, whatever. So yeah, this might have been red today or sideways, but it's at the bottom of this trend line. So that's actually a really good thing. So we can assume that it's going to go up. I mentioned this in my last video, but we can assume now that it's going to go up, and hopefully it does. You want to look at these bigger time frames to tell you and to see what's going on in the overall market, the SPY, the Qs, and then you can look at the VIX too, and that kind of tells you the overall volatility. And if volatility is going up, then that is kind of weakness in the market, and it's showing that people are kind of scared, kind of uneven. It's been pretty balanced recently, so that's good. But yeah, so that's how you do that, okay? And then another thing you want to look for are gaps, okay? Gaps are big. Usually gaps get filled. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that if you look at like after hours and there's a gap, it's got that crazy long line. That's the stock filling the gap right away, so it's not gonna go back and fill it later. So it does that sometimes. If you can get a so Dell, I've been watching Dell. I should have swung this, but if you go to the daily charts, okay, you could see this is called an island reversal right here. It gapped down and then it gapped back up. Okay, these gaps don't usually get filled. That's like the only exception. And this is just, see how it reversed right there? I mean, this is an excellent swing, in my opinion. I mean, keep your eyes on Dell. So you want to look for beginning of a trend, other gaps, okay? The first gap, if it makes a gap right away, that is the start of a trend, okay? So here it made a gap right away, boom. So that's start of the trend, right? And then it had one, if there's a gap at the top, if it's been going for a while and it gaps up, that's usually called an exhaustion gap. And that kind of means that it's running out of steam, and it should see a reversal soon. So obviously Dell, it gapped up at the very end and then bam, it reversed. But yeah, I kind of thought this was going to keep going down, but then it's got this little island reversal and 2 really strong days. So I don't know why I didn't swing this. But yeah, so that's kind of what you want to look for on gaps. So yeah, so you got direction of the market. You want to look at the trend line. You want to look at where it's at in the trend, if it's at a correction, secondary trend, whatever, And then you want to always look at the bigger picture. You don't want to just look at those small time frames. It's not going to help you. And let's see what else do I want to go through. Okay, I guess I'll fit this in here. So I want to go over volume. Volume is really important, in my opinion. It's one of the most important aspects of trading. Tells you that a move is being validated. If there's volume, then there's validation. And without volume, it's just movement that doesn't make sense. So let's go to the 1 minute. Oh, this thing's got like no. Hold on. Okay. So let's see here. It's the best way I can explain this. All right. So in an uptrend, right? You want to see an increase in volume to validate the uptrend. So on a big bar, you want to see a bigger volume bar. And if you see a little candle, I don't know if I can find an example. Can't find one right now. But if you see a little candle with a big volume bar, that's weird. That's not normal. I would call that an anomaly, and it's the market makers kind of doing stuff. It's either going to be a reversal or an end of a trend, a trap. Usually if you see a big jump and no volume, then that's a trap. That's a market maker trap, especially on those morning breakouts, or if you're looking at a consolidation with a pattern and you get a breakout, boom, and if this had a little volume, then it could have been, I mean, it more than likely would have been a fake out. So you always want to look at that. You want to make sure that the volume validates the move, okay? That's just super, super important. And I think that's all I want to go over today. Let's see here. I guess, yeah. So, other than volume, patterns are huge too. You want to look for your patterns. You want to draw your channels, your trend lines, your patterns. I would just go through charts for a little bit, some of your favorite tickers, whatever, and I would just look for different patterns. And if you look at something long enough, you can make it look like any fucking shape that you want, honestly. So don't do that. Just kind of glance at it for a minute, and if there's an obvious pattern, then mark it out, draw it out. I use pink or purple because it's easier to see. I see a lot of people use yellow. That's easy to see. I think the default is red, and I don't know, it doesn't pop up too well. It kind of confuses you with the bars and all that. But yeah, I just use purple. That's just me. But yeah, you want to look for like right here, you got an ascending triangle pop. See this one, it had no volume when it broke out, so it was a fake and it went back down. That's a good example. And probably because it formed in pre-market, but still, same thing. I mean, that could happen with the market open and no volume, and it would fake you out. And if you didn't know that about the volume, you would be stuck in it, and you'd probably get a loss. But yeah, you just want to look at that stuff and see. I mean, symmetrical triangles are huge. Those always pop up, and it sucks because those can go both ways. That's why you want to look at, if you see a symmetrical triangle, look at the overall market and look at some of your indicators to kind of see if it's going to go up or down. You should be able to figure it out by looking at everything together. Or you can just wait for the breakout and trade it. Sometimes just those moves happen so fast, so you can't really get into them. It's nice to get into stuff early and catch the whole move, but that doesn't always happen. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll make some more videos. Alright, thanks.